Dollar's going away. The U.S. currency will no longer be the reserve currency of the world. Put a law in place back in 2008. They snuck it in, a big, 10,000 page bill where the banks could seize the depositors' and creditors' deposits. So people are asking me what's going on with the U.S. dollar. I'm sure most of you are aware by now. If you're not, go ahead and let you in on it. The dollar's going away. The U.S. currency will no longer be the reserve currency of the world. We will put in what's called a CBDC, which is a programmable digital currency. They've been working on that for several years. Another name for it is Biden bucks, some people are calling it. So cash is going away. And if you've not been made aware up till now, if you've not seen any news reports, because the media is mainly blacking this out, so you don't really know what's going on. But all the leaders around the world are telling everyone to dump the dollar, and their citizens are following suit. So what that's going to do is just destroy the value of our currency. It will go to basically zero, just like Venezuela. If you want to see what's going to happen here, look at what happened to Venezuela when its dollar collapsed or its currency collapsed. That's exactly what's coming here. So everyone needs to be aware of this. They also, in another component, put a law in place back in 2008. They snuck it in, a big, 10,000 page bill where the banks could seize the depositors' and creditors' deposits, and there's no guarantee or even law that says they have to give it back. So this is already happening in other countries around the world. Banks are being burnt to the ground, and the media has a complete blackout on it. So that's how you know it's something they don't want you knowing about. They want you to be unaware of what's coming. So here's what I'll give you a timeline, okay? In July, they will roll out what's called the FedNow system. Now that is basically a payment processing system similar to PayPal or something like that. So from now on, right after that, they'll implement the digital currency. They'll crash the dollar, and then they'll let chaos reign for a few months. I don't know, a few weeks, few months, who knows? I can't tell you exactly how long it'll take. But they need rioting to go on. They need stores to be empty, which that'll only take 3 days after the dollar collapses. You're going to need to have 3 months of food, water, necessary supplies, because stores will empty out very quickly. Think back to when the COVID scam was going on and how fast people rushed and emptied out stores. Okay, well, now just imagine money getting cut off. You have no access. The banks are closed. They will not reopen during this. There's no ATMs that will work. You're just out of cash. There'll be looting. There'll be rioting. It's going to be crazy for a little bit, and they need that. They need that chaos going on so they can force you into the digital dollar system, okay, the programmable digital currency. Now, that's horrible for a lot of reasons. One, they can tell you where you can spend your money, when you can spend it, how much you can spend. They can penalize and take money straight out of your bank account if they don't like what you're saying or doing on social media, or if they tell you to do something like take more shots and you refuse. So if they want to give you more shots and you refuse, they can just shut off your money. Just turn it off like a light switch. There's nothing you can do about it. I mean, you guys have no clue. Well, a lot of people, let me say that. A lot of people have no clue what this means and how much control they're going to have over everything you do or say. It's going to be bad. However, it's probably gone too far to stop at this point. I've been telling people this for a couple of years now. Other people have been trying to tell people and wake people up. It's not worked. Everybody's asleep. Everybody's focused on, what the mainstream media is talking about on any given day, all these crises they keep creating to distract your attention on what's going on here. So it is what it is at this point. Once the FedNow system goes in place in July, it's going to go full online in July, okay? Once that happens, at some point between now and the end of the year, they are going to crash everything. It'll be the worst crash in human history. However, it's going to take phases for them to completely crash it, okay? So the first thing they got to do is put the FedNow system in place. Then they have to put the digital currency in place. That'll happen after, I don't know, a month, 2 months of chaos going on, rioting, all that kind of stuff, when people are just literally at their wits' end. Then the government will come out and say, okay, we figured out a way to let things go back to normal. We're going to implement this digital currency system. It's much more stable than the fiat currency. And if you want to get some of your money back that was seized by the banks, the evil banks, and they're all in on it together, you guys got to start waking up to the fact that all of this stuff, governments, banks, Everything is owned on the planet by 13 families. They hide behind the scenes. They use shell corporations, things of that nature, asset protection, to where it's very difficult to track who's behind it all. But the governments, those are just puppets. They don't have any power. All these wars and everything, they control it all on both sides. Okay, they fund both sides. They're profiting off this misery and death and sickness and all this stuff. It's just a game. And people need to wake up to that fact. It's all just scripts. And like a movie, it's basically professional wrestling playing out on a global scale, where they have a script, you got good guys, you got bad guys in front of the camera. Behind the scenes, they're all hanging out, getting drunk, and becoming trillionaires off of our misery and suffering. So this has been going on for thousands of years. It's going to keep going on until we stand up and put a stop to it. So what's going on with stocks right now? You know, there's schemes in the stock market. It's all rigged. I tell people stay out of that thing unless you're knowledgeable enough and on the inside enough to where you're rigging the game, because it's all rigged. So if you're not aware that the game is rigged, then you're the sucker at the table and you're going to get taken. You may have a win here, a win there, but overall, you're going to lose. That's all there is to it. The house always wins, just like Vegas. They didn't build those multi-billion-dollar hotels off people winning, okay, when they come play in the casino. They can only build those things off your losses. Same thing with stocks, bonds, all that type of thing. It's all just scams and rigged. But that's fine. What's going on right now with the stocks, the reason it's going up is because they're suckering people in. Okay, they're trying to claim there's going to be a rally, all this. No, stocks are going to lose 80 to 90% of their value by the end of this year. Right after they crash the dollar, stocks are going to crash. Real estate's going to crash. They're going to crash it all. Okay, now that doesn't mean you need to be scared. It doesn't mean you need to be in a panic. It means you need to position yourself to where you can benefit and capitalize on all the chaos that's coming. Because wherever there's chaos, there's opportunity. There's opportunity to help those that did not prepare in time. There's opportunity to get things at a steal, at a discount that's unprecedented, okay? Real estate's going to drop 30 to 50% in values, stocks 80 to 90. All crypto will be outlawed and go to zero. Been saying that for 2 years as well. The reason for that, and it's common sense, guys, okay? If you want to know what's coming here, look at what China's done for the last, let's say, 10 years. That's exactly what's coming here, okay? They're going to try to disarm us so that we can't resist what they're doing. And then they're going to try to make us completely dependent on them for a universal basic income that's all digital. And they can just shut it off anytime they want if you don't comply with whatever their orders are. So what they're doing right now with stocks is they're allowing it to go up to sucker people into getting in, thinking there's going to be a bull run and that they're going to make a lot of money. That's not going to happen. It's going to collapse overnight on a Friday, and it'll happen on a Friday. On the news, you'll hear about a financial collapse happening. The next morning you'll wake up, banks will be closed. ATMs will not work. Okay, that's the beginning of the crash. Now, that's just going to, like I said, create the panic to force people in the digital currency. And then they'll allow, once people get on the digital platform, and then once they tell you, okay, we're switching over to this digital platform, it's going to save things, it's going to make things go back to normal you're going to have about 30 days, they're going to say, to turn in all cash or convert it over to digital, or you're going to lose it. Okay, well, during that time of them shutting off the money and before they implement the digital, literally, if you've got cash put back, and I don't mean in a bank, you better get it out of the bank. Only keep 30 days worth of money in a bank at any given time, or you're going to lose it. Take it, put it in a safe, someplace safe, and then you're going to be able to pick up things literally for pennies on the dollar. Now, there's two sides to this coin. One, it's great to be able to pick up things at pennies on the dollar. The downside is you're doing it at other people's expense. Now, I'm of the mindset that just because I know how to profit off of collapses and things of that nature, and other people don't, or a lot of people don't, doesn't mean I shouldn't benefit, or doesn't mean I shouldn't profit somehow with what I've spent 32 years learning how to do. It's the same thing the ultra wealthy do. The difference is I'm sharing this information with you. They're not going to. In fact, they're going to try, they're going to lie, they're going to cheat, they're going to steal, they're going to manipulate you in any way they can to keep you from knowing that this stuff exists and that it's all just a game. It's all the bubbles and crashes are all engineered. That's why it happens every 10 to 12 years. That doesn't happen by accident. People don't sit and look over the history of these events and watch them happen over and over and over. It's the same game they're playing. And we're too busy living life, watching movies and music videos and all